Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me for a 1990 Topps themed episode today. I can hear the groans and moans and probably see my sub count dropping. I know it's not everybody's favorite release, but I adore 1990 Topps Baseball. Largely because they were the first baseball card packs that I ever opened with my grubby little kid hands back in the spring of 1990, and I've just been in love with the set ever since. And I want to continue to enjoy collecting it as an adult. And I've had to get creative there. Obviously, anybody with an internet connection and a credit card can go out and get a complete 1990 Topps set for probably less than a retail blaster would set you back. So there's not a lot of challenge there. And I do have a complete set. But one of the ways that I continue to enjoy it as an adult is I'm pursuing autographed versions of as many of the cards as I can get my hands on. I wouldn't say it's my primary hobby pursuit, but I always keep one eye open for these. And the primary way that I've accumulated these is courtesy of the Topps Archives Signature Series cards or collections that you see in the background there. So this set comes out every year. In each box, you get one individually autographed and stamped buyback card reissued from Topps. And while I never pay up the $50 to $100 that it takes to buy a box, I do hunt the singles, especially if I can find them from 1990 Topps, like the three that you see in the background there. And I have 4 new ones today. Some of them I've had a while, but they're all new in terms of being shown here on YouTube and here on my channel. I've never shown any of these, and let's just get right down to it. I've been gabbing for almost 2 minutes. The first of today's 4, or today's quartet, is Hall of Famer Lee Smith. So always nice when, like the Carlton Fisk All-Star card you see in the background there, you can find a Hall of Famer for this project. And even better, it's a Boston Red Sox card. And the Red Sox are the team that I most closely associate Lee Smith with. But this is a great one here from 2019 Archive Signature Series. Love the photograph. Love the kind of 3D effect with his hat going over the X and Red Sox there. You see something similar with the Mookie Wilson card in the background, but really dig this one. Looks fantastic. Great on-card auto, as all of these are. In this case, it is numbered to 50. So there's typically every year in this release, there are a handful at least of 1990 Topps cards and subjects. Some of them can be repeats, but there's usually a lot of new guys each year, and I've done pretty well. So Lee Smith, first of today's 4. The next guy is definitely not a Hall of Famer, but he's someone who in the spring of 1990 I would have thought was a huge deal simply because of this card. So this is one of my favorites, believe it or not, in this little collection. It is the Future Star Todd Zeile. Now, this is something that I'm sure some of you that are around my age could maybe relate to, but back in 1990, we didn't have internet connections, and we barely had, a couple of cable TV selections. But I really wasn't able to get exposed to baseball 24/7 like we are now in the internet era. And so the primary way that I determined who was good as a 7-year-old back in 1990 were these packs of cards. And according to Topps, Todd Zeile was going to be a future star. It says it clearly right here on the card. And so ever since then, back 35 years ago now almost, I knew that Todd Zeile was going to be destined for greatness. That may not have panned out, but this is one of my favorite buybacks just because it takes me back in time to that spring and summer of 1990, and thinking that this card and this player were going to be a big deal. Just really dig this one. And this is one of the lower numbered buyback autos in this collection that I have. Just copy 6 of 9 here. So just 8 other copies of that Todd Zeile floating around out there. And yes, I actually paid my own hard-earned money to acquire a Todd Zeile autograph card. And I know some of you may find that silly, but I absolutely adore that one every bit as much as I do the Hall of Famers from this release. So fantastic stuff there. Let's make a little bit of room here for the final 2 cards. Neither one of these guys is enshrined, but they were both huge players around this time. And we're going to start with someone who is still a fan favorite, at least to some extent to this day, the great Jose Canseco. Shout out to my buddy Brent over at Brent Richards and Baseball Cards, who I know is a Canseco fan and even went to his home run derby earlier this year. that he had out in Texas. But great card here. You got to look at his rippling, vitamin-enhanced arm muscles. And of course, whether it was crushing home runs, stealing bases, or just his, enigmatic personality, Jose was a big star in the game throughout the late 80s and into the 90s. This is a card that I was thrilled to own in unautographed, normal form as a kid back in the day, and was pumped to find one of these. Canseco seems to be a pretty prolific signer. I see a few Canseco cards, it seems like, every year in the Archive Signature Series release. This may not even be the only year. This one is a 2018, I believe, but they may have done this 90 Canseco in other years as well. In this case, it is numbered to 45. Was not an expensive pickup, and is another one, much like the Todd Zeile, that just strikes right at the heart of the nostalgia that I have for the game of baseball and for this great hobby in particular. So really nice. I think that might be my only Jose Canseco autograph card, I would guess. And let's close it out now with a guy who, again, like Jose, is a little bit tainted now and not enshrined in Cooperstown, but I don't care about that. He was an exciting player, won multiple MVPs, was an RBI machine, and I believe this is his rookie card as well. The great Juan Gonzalez, Juan Gon. Always loved the classic pose on this. Great look at Gonzalez. This one is clearly numbered out of 41. Nice bold on-card autograph, as you always get with these. And I mean, these cards are cheap. I paid less money for any one of these singles, even Jose Canseco included, than it would have cost me to actually buy a box of this on my own. And odds are I would have never pulled, a 1990 card that I actually needed and appreciated like this. This one's really, really cool. Again, not a Hall of Famer for reasons that I won't get into in today's video, but still a player that I admired as a kid. And if you had told me back then in 1990 that I would someday have an autographed serial numbered version of this Juan Gonzalez rookie card, I think my head would have exploded. So just really, really fun. And that's what this project is to me. We all collect for different reasons. And sometimes, what you're buying, you have to pay attention to monetary value and market trends. And I get that in some circumstances. And I certainly participate in that part of the hobby as well. But my favorite parts of my collection are the ones like you see here laid out in front of you. The ones that are purely nostalgia and memory driven, and take me right back to my early days of baseball fandom, where I was just obsessed with the game, learning as much about these players as I could, and gathering up as many of these cards as I could get my grubby little kid hands on. And for that reason, this is maybe the most fun project that I have in my adult collecting, and really pumped to add 4 more big names to this overall collection. I have had some requests to do a video showcasing all of my 1990 Topps autos from Signature Series here in one video. And I may try to get to that in the future, but as you can tell, I chewed up almost 10 minutes as it is just on these 4 cards. So I wanted to get through the rest of the new ones first and give them their proper due. And maybe at some point in the future, if there is interest, I'll do a video revealing all of these that I currently have. I would guess I'm somewhere around 2 to 3 dozen of them at this point. So always looking for more. But that's going to be a wrap for today. We'll cut it there at those 4. As always, I greatly appreciate your time and support, and I'll be back soon here on the channel. Till then, enjoy the hobby and take care, everybody. See ya.